This is Radio Nepal. I am Dela Prasai with the news, the headlines first. Voting for elections to the House of Representatives and the Provincial Assembly concludes peacefully across the country yesterday. Chief Election Commissioner thanks all sides for the peaceful completion of the election. Voter turnout remains at 61%. FIFA World Cup 2022 starts in Qatar. And UN Climate Change Conference in Egypt adopts a loss and damage fund. Now the news in detail. Voting for elections to the House of Representatives and the Provincial Assembly concluded peacefully across the country yesterday, except some incidents reported from a few places. The Election Commission in a press meet yesterday evening said the voter turnout remained 61%. Voting was held from 7 a.m. in the morning till 5 p.m. in the evening in all 77 districts of the country. The Election Commission said voting was conducted in a peaceful and enthusiastic manner across the country, sparing some general incidents. In Madhya Province, voting was conducted in all polling centres without any postponement. The Election Commission stated that the voting process was obstructed in some districts such as Bazura, Surkhet, Taplejung, Nawalparasi, Gulmi and Dolaka after disputes between the political parties and the candidate hopefuls ensued. A total of 17,988,570 voters were eligible to vote in the elections. Likewise, 22,227 polling booths in 10,892 polling centres were established in the elections. This is the second election of the House of Representatives and the Provincial Assembly after the country adopted the federal form of governance. Altogether, 246,960 employees and security personnel were deployed to the management of the voting. A total of 2,412 candidates are contesting for first-past-the-post system of the election to the House of Representatives. Similarly, 2,199 candidates were enlisted for the proportional election system. For the Provincial Assembly, 3,224 candidates are in the competition for the first-past-the-post election system, while 3,708 names were in the final closed list for the proportional election system. Meanwhile, 7,219 persons from 44 national and 12 from 2 international organizations observed the election. The observers supervised the elections in 165 constituencies of the House of Representatives and 330 constituencies of the Province Assembly. According to the Election Commission, in the first phase, the votes for the first-past-the-post system of the House of Representatives will be counted. After that, votes are casted for the first-past-the-post category in the Provincial Assembly will be counted. This will be followed by counting of the proportional representation votes of the House of Representatives and Provincial Assembly will be counted. The Election Commission has planned to complete the counting of votes for the first-past-the-post category within 3 days. Meanwhile, the Election Commission has thanked all for the peaceful completion of the elections of the House of Representatives and Province Assembly. Addressing a press conference at the Election Commission headquarters yesterday evening, Chief Election Commissioner Dinesh Kumar Thapalia said the Commission concluded that the voter turnout had remained at 61% in yesterday's election. He said except for a few untoward incidents, the election remained largely peaceful. He also confirmed that elections were held at 15 polling centres across the country. The Chief Election Commissioner further said the Commission had undertaken efforts to lead the election programme, smoothly coordinating with political parties and officials. The Election Commission has expressed its gratitude towards the Government of Nepal, province governments, local levels, election officers, local administration, election staffers, security personnel, political parties, candidates, voters, observers, the international community, the media and the private sector, among all, for playing a role in a historic task of conducting the election. Chief Election Commissioner Dinesh Kumar Thapalia said that the Election Commission had instructed to take action against those obstructing the electoral process, misusing the ballot paper, violating the voting process, voting repeatedly, destroying ballot papers and capturing ballot papers. Chief Election Commissioner Thapalia said that the chief returning officers will be held accountable to resolve the issue of ambiguity that could arise while vote counting, and the Election Commission would promptly address the queries of the officials. Meanwhile, vote counting has already started in some places of the country. Vote counting has already started in Lalitpur constituency 2 and 3, and for now, our correspondent Kaushal Khimire is with us to update about the vote counting of Lalitpur constituency 3. Kaushal?
Yes, Dela.
Good morning, Kaushal.
Good morning to you as well.
Are you getting me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
So, Kaushal, could you please tell us about the situation at your site right now?
Okay, Dela, I am at Jaulak Hill of Lalitpur. I am inside the premises of Local Development Training Academy, and the vote counting for Lalitpur constituency number 3 is ongoing. The vote counting started this morning. It was scheduled to start late night yesterday, but due to some small dispute, the voting could only start this morning. So people are looking with keen interest in this constituency, especially because there's a very strong independent candidate here, and the vote counting is ongoing. The election officials, what they are doing is they are sorting the ballot papers. They are putting ballot papers of a candidate in one place, and they are piling up the ballot papers. So we cannot exactly say who is winning at the moment. I asked with the election official. They said that they would give some information in a short while, but at the moment, I mean, it's a neck-to-neck competition. The campaign were very strong from almost all the candidates in this constituency, so we cannot exactly say who is winning at the moment, but they've been sorting the ballot papers and they've been piling it up, and I think we'll get some concrete information in a short while.
So, Kaushal, as you said, little dispute came while counting vote before.
No, it was not. So it was not during counting.
Hassles?
No, it was not during counting, but some of the representatives of the candidates said that the voting should have started. I mean, it should start exactly at the moment, yesterday night, but other candidates and some of the election officials said that they do not have enough manpower, so they would start it tomorrow morning. That is what they said yesterday. So it caused a small dispute, but everything has been resolved, and the counting of the votes, it started this morning.
So, Kaushal...
So another additional information would be that at the moment they are only counting at one place. But as the day progresses, they are planning to count the votes at 4 different places. So that would mean that we would get results soon. So,
Kaushal, do you have any information or idea that how long does it exactly take to complete the vote counting process?
The counting of vote of Lalitpur 3, it has been carried out in a little different way. First of all, they have piled the ballot papers that the candidates have got individually. So and as I talked with the election official, they said that they would count the votes in 4 different places. So if that goes on as per schedule, as per plan, I think it would not take more than a day or two, a day or half for the results to come up.
So, Kaushal, you are right now at the vote counting center for the Lalitpur constituency.
Yes, in Jaulakhel, yes.
So, are there any other sorts of interesting things that you have observed?
It's very early. It's only 8 o'clock. So the vote counting started at around 5:36. So it's very early to say something. But the candidates have been coming. I just saw the candidate for the Province Assembly 3B. I've seen the candidates. They've been coming. They've been going. The people who are counting votes, the representatives. Some of them are sitting inside. Some of them are out basking in the sun. So I think as the day progresses, the election and as the election results start coming, things would get interesting over here.
Thank you so much, Kaushal, for informing us about the latest vote count situation in Lalitpur Constituency 3.
Thank you, Dela.
Thank you. We were talking with our correspondent, Kaushal Kimire, to take some information about the latest vote count in Lalitpur Constituency 3. So vote counting has already started in constituency number 2 of Jhapa district. So election officer there, Kesabraz Panta, informed that the vote count was initiated in constituency 2 at 3:30 a.m. this morning. The district election office Jhapa shared that the information that it witnessed a 65.42% turnout. Likewise, the vote counting has already begun in constituency number 7 of Kathmandu as well. The counting was begun at Judo Hall of Naya Bazar. Election officer there, Usha Shrestha, informed that the vote count was initiated after holding an all-party meeting. The vote counting was initiated after arranging 4 booths. So the constituency number 7 of Kathmandu recorded some 60% turnouts. So, a man was killed after being shot by a member of the security force at Triveni Municipality 7 in Basura district yesterday. The deceased has been identified as Sanjeev Adi, who died on the spot. The police said at least 3 others were injured in the incident. Triveni Municipality Mayor Karnabhadu Thapa said the fire was opened after the clash between the police deployed at a polling centre at Noteshwari Primary School and local people. The injured are receiving treatment at a local health facility. Meanwhile, a clash between cadres of the Nepali Congress and the CPN-UML took place at a polling centre at Kalika Secondary School at Badi Malika 9 in Basura. The police had to fire bullets in the air to take the situation under control. Likewise, the police said voting was postponed at some areas of Budi Nanda Municipality and Budi Ganga Municipality following disputes. Assistant Chief District Officer Lokendra Bista said efforts were on the way to take stock of voting postponement and the incident at Triveni Municipality. So the General Election Observation Committee, ZEOC, has said the election of the House of Representatives and Provincial Assemblies has completed peacefully except a few untoward incidents. ZEOC also shared that people, including senior citizens and people with a disability, participated in the election enthusiastically. General Secretary of GEOC, Krishna Man Pradhan, said the peaceful activities of political parties, nominated candidates and all voters were vital for peaceful completion of the elections. GEOC had deputed 84 observers across the country. Likewise, National Election Observation Committee has concluded that the election was generally peaceful. However, the committee has predicted the reduced percentage of voters turnout than expected. NEOC Executive Director Bikal Shrestha said the committee had deputed 1,800 observers. So, Prime Minister Sherbadu Deoba cast his ballot in his home district, Dodelthura, yesterday. He voted at Ashugram Secondary School polling centre in Dhora Rural Municipality 1. Prime Minister Durbar had studied at the school. He is the House of Representatives member candidate from the Nepali Congress in this election. Prime Minister Durbar has continuously won the election from Dadelthura since 1991. He is running for the Federal Parliament member for the 7th time in this election. Likewise, earlier yesterday, chairman of the CPN Maoist Centre, Pushpakamal Dhal Prachanda, voted from polling booth at Nepal Police School, Shantipur, located in Bharatpur metropolitan city. He then reached Gorkha district after casting his vote in Chitwan. Talking to the media in the Gorkha yesterday, Chairman Dhal reiterated that the present Democratic Left Alliance would continue for long. He said the issue of government leadership from the coalition partner had not yet been discussed among the alliance partners. He also assured that the current coalition will not break over the issue of the leadership of the government that will be formed after the election. Similarly, CPN-UML chairman KP Sharma Oli cast his ballot from the Mahendra Shanti Secondary School Best Polling Centre at Balkot of Surya Binayak Municipality 2 in Bhaktapur yesterday. Talking to the media after casting his vote, Chairman Oli said the voting was held peacefully for the House of Representatives and Province Assembly election. Leader Oli is the House of Representatives candidate from Thapa Constituency 5. Likewise, Speaker Agni Prasad Sapkotra also cast his vote from Sethi Devi Panchakanya Secondary School polling booth in Chauthara Sangha Chok Gadi Municipality of Sindhu Palchok District. National Assembly Chairman Ganesh Prasad Timal Sinha also cast his vote from Pashupati Secondary School at Modi Rural Municipality in Parbat. Similarly, Chief Election Commissioner Dinesh Kumar Thapalia cast his vote at Unique Academy polling station at Madhepur Timi Municipality 1 in Bhaktapur District. You're listening to Radio Nepal 8 AM English News Bulletin. We have some international updates also, so we move to the international updates now. At least 5 people have been killed and 25 injured after a gunman opened fire inside a gay club in the U.S. state of Colorado on Saturday night. A suspect is in police custody and is being treated for injuries. 2 heroic people in the club subdued the attacker, police say. Club Q in Colorado Springs wrote on Facebook that it was devastated by the senseless attack on its community. According to BBC, US President Joe Biden said Americans cannot and must not tolerate hate. Police asked people to be patient while they worked to identify victims and finalize the number of casualties, adding that some people had taken themselves to hospital. The suspect was found inside the club. 2 firearms were found at the scene, and the attacker is thought to have used a long rifle. The 27th UN Conference of the Parties, COP27 on Sunday, agreed for establishing the Spatial Loss and Damage Fund. The Loss and Damage Fund will help to make up for the losses suffered by developing nations that are vulnerable to climate change. CNN reported that the agreement marks the first time countries and groups including the United States and the European Union have agreed to establish a loss and damage fund for nations vulnerable to climate disasters made worse by pollution disproportionately produced by wealthy and industrial nations. Although the COP27 was expected to complete on 18 November, it got an extension of 2 days as the parties could strike a deal. So the 2 major events started yesterday. The major event at the international front of FIFA World Cup started from yesterday itself. So we are taking you to some updates of the FIFA World Cup. The FIFA World Cup 2022 has started in Qatar from yesterday. The opening ceremony of the game kicked off at 7:45 p.m. Nepali time. The first World Cup in the Middle East has started with a spectacular spectacular opening ceremony inside Al Bayat Stadium. The 30-minute show featured performances by international and local actors, singers and dancers. It culminated with a dazzling fireworks display that lit up the sky above the stadium, 44 kilometers north of Qatar's capital, Doha. The ceremony was centered around the theme of unity and inclusivity. Qatar's Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani said that from Qatar, from the Arab world, he welcomed everyone to the World Cup 2022. World leaders from different countries attended the opening ceremony. Arab leaders dominated the list of world leaders who attended the opening ceremony of the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar yesterday. Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, Dubai ruler Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, and the presidents of Egypt and Algeria, as well as the United Nations Secretary General, were also in attendance at the glittering ceremony to open the first World Cup in the Middle East. The stadium, with a capacity of 60,000 seats, hosted the opening ceremony just before 2 hours of the first game between Qatar and Ecuador. Meantime, Qatar made history by taking part in the FIFA Grand Event for the first time. Meanwhile, in the match between Qatar and Ecuador yesterday, Ecuador defeated Qatar with a goal difference of 2-0. Ecuador captain Iner Valencia scored 2 goals for Ecuador yesterday. Now the general weather forecast for the country for today. Forecasting division says the weather is likely to be partly cloudy in hilly areas of Province 1, Gandaki Province and Karnali Province, and mainly fair in the rest of the country. Kathmandu's weather report now. Maximum temperature of 22.7 degrees Celsius and minimum temperature of 8.8 degrees Celsius. With this news, we have come to the end of this bulletin, but before we wrap up, the headlines once again. Voting for elections to House of Representatives and Provincial Assembly concludes peacefully across the country yesterday. Chief Election Commissioner thanks all sides for the peaceful completion of the election. Voter turnout remains at 61%. FIFA World Cup 2022 starts in Qatar. And UN Climate Change Conference in Egypt adopts loss and damage fund. Well, that's all that we have for this edition. Our next English news edition is at 2 in the afternoon. You can also listen to us online at our website www.radionepal.gov.np for more news and online programs. Stay tuned, stay safe and have a good day.